Prepare to fight. Three, two. One. Fight. First frag. Lead tied. Lead lost. Lead
it's anything goes. If I felt less alive. As alive as I once was. 33 years old and single. Never want to resort to committing suicide again. But that's where I like to lie to play my games. But even... So, I can't continue. I'm not sure about who I am. The truth is, I've tried to search. Really think this is as simple? No point I'm already streaming this particular program. Remember, all the way back in 2015 and 2016, I began what you call only streaming on Twitch. Multi streaming. That's something else I've only just done recently. Were you watching the same content for over 20 hours? Watching just bots play and Nuketown 2025 until 2026 first arrived, at least in this part of the world? Not January 1, 2026 everywhere yet, of course. A great deal of extreme events have happened since the Ghibli AR art trend went big 9 months ago. Who had expected it to be the beginning of something so doggone sinister? You've not been online every single day neither, you know. Every day. All I aim to anyway. It doesn't mean, of course, it's likable. Yeah, was I recommended by some members in Hollow Indie? Yeah, Hour and a Half Live 12. Indeed. I would have been one of those who was just committed, and still will. Though not every single game that was out on that by that publisher either. But what did happen since I got hacked is still mysterious in many ways, because look, I'll say it again, in certain parts, including over here, it is New Year's Day, 2026. It's just another normal day. There's not much actually really going on beyond what I've already have noticed. Most of the others were just talking about the end of the year, but this has been one of the hardest months in streaming that I have ever done in the 2025 year. Here's how I said it. And most likely, they won't be around very often for the new year, when the standard new year, and when the year of the horse begins. In preparation of the January 1, 2026 day, I can say /post this without any doubts or questions. The 2025 year has been one of the hardest streaming years I've had since I began this art that, very recently, had been tainted by AI forces. Just to verify that pitch proof is not in use, okay? Well, that very recently had been tainted by AI forces. That is a fact, and the unfortunate reality we're living, even amongst the most dedicated of soldiers. Honestly, the year had ended a bit better than my first expectations were. Nevertheless, we still have the intent to continue on and remain committed to the game, even when the multiple barrages and streams of AI content continue to come passing by, past, present, and future. In the future. I'm still remaining steadfast with a strict no AI stance, and I'll only quit here when I say so, not when they do. That's all for now. That's what I wrote. Even among all that, I was not able to connect to the other entity on October 12th. But I never gave up my fight. We might have to take another break later. Whoever you are, remember I'm still here. And doing it as much as possible. I don't know what I have to lose anymore. In any case, who else would be in the same places that a few of these other soldiers could have been in? Olanzapine sucks. The other drug, that is a weight loss drug, does make me surprisingly, I don't really know what the best way to describe it is. An imperative. That other drug, I don't really see it as a useful, useful for such purposes. That RTA in Winter 2025 stuff was surprisingly fun. In some of the games I've seen. Well, most of it. Most of them, actually. But there's two exceptions which, you figure out why would they grind over 6 hours on those games? For exciting elements instead of the lack of it. Small. But, well, I'm really not sure which way describing the matter. I did play another game known as Hololive Treasure Mountain. Might run that instead. Once again, this is based on the feelings I feel. If I want to play, I'll play. Decisions up to 12. Whatever you do, you know the drills. In terms as well of where exactly we roll from here. It's not easy. Still will be. Still doing experiments in music. There are occasions the simple things can sometimes be better than the more complex things. A few MPTMs I've also created. Just to further recognize at a deeper level with the proof that sometimes simple compositions are better. In my honest opinion, though, that depends on the listener or the audience member. They don't always listen. It sometimes just goes to the tune of a dancer. What does happen next year, though, is still the question mark. Redesign? You look like a fucking dumbass. Alternatively, to say a freaking idiot. anything goes, but it's not an SFW. And it's in the language, maybe. You really need to know your soldiers, at least inside instead of outdoors. Isn't exactly going to be everyone to appease and respecting everyone. I've never rolled with convention, and I never will. There's things which, if it does tickle me fancy, I'll try them out. A lot of really insignificant. There's another rather dumbass game called Agree. We agreeing to the terms and conditions or whatever it was called. I won't touch that stupid fucking game. The depth, as well as all of the any sort of parts that was on a game called Hane Hollow. Also another of those Hollow indie games. I get it, aren't exactly easygoing. Points to rejuvenate the mind with staying true to our art. In mine, it's going right up to 4K, up to 2160p. If you can do that, I can show you now. It's stuck with some, I don't know, rough sort of messages. Understand, it's difficult to trust really anyone nowadays, especially with the forces unleashing the different barrages. Enough to really make an ordinary soldier lose their head just by the sheer intensity of what has happened. Once you've been reconfigured, which may require being redesigned as well. You may be going backwards, not forward. Unless you're that intent to try to reverse the cycle once again. Fake it till you make it. What then does it take? Understanding. The game's over, the game's over. You don't ever get a second chance after you graduate. To the vast majority of cases, that's exactly the case. There's 4,445 points on there. Not even gonna care less about chasing high totals. Anyone who had seen my last session of this would know that. Session 52. I did get a little over 40k, but that was about it. I did forget Amane Kanata has graduated as well. I actually never mentioned that until only now. Well, if I'm being realistic, it just happened. If you've read enough about how it happened, you know it. I will say nothing though, because if it's already something you can research, you can research it. Told you I'm lethal. I'm trying my best to at least be honest. Usually, depending on my emotional state. Well, I'm normally clean. Not tonight, though. I'm just getting into the factors about some of these big tech corporations. Because I really am feeling a bit more pessimistic of the next moves. RAM prices, RAM prices, random access memory prices, particularly DRAM and SDRAM as well, risen recently. The demand on the use of RAM, as well as, for example, the business GPUs and all that. There could have been a different solution out of this, except they're choosing to give those people the arsenic. Where they couldn't care about the standard is already broken down. In it, they are not able to go back in their promises. And I never talk the truth every time either. Reset. That went to the wrong Mikkel. Right. It's just a different rush. Different time. As long as possible. It isn't a comfortable sensation when you're alone. Even so. You really think I'm gonna be thinking about the gains and losses? You remember the death of Vince Zampella himself? Yeah, it had happened earlier, back in December. Or 21? Or was it 22? It was one or the other, but... what can never be ignored. Along with Jason West, I'm pretty sure was the other man, founding Infinity Ward. And pioneers as well of the Medal of Honor series with, you know, the original line, you know, World War II era game series. Forget the flip-flop about the 2010 reboot, which was a load of dirt. They tried, at least, to develop it, but something just rubbed me the wrong way ever since I booted it up. I hate that freaking Catalyst song as well. Awful fucking number. Catchy, yeah, but I hate just hate this. The New Divide was a good track by Linkin Park, but it's a good enough track. Well, that's what I think, but nah, that's just my take. If I do remember correctly from Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. That was from that movie. But the movies of that line were dirty. In a bad way, more than it was anything else. It's expected when you have companies making the rules. It's also expected on the AI tech. Where do we go after superintelligence? Artificial general intelligence? I'm no expert, but I do a lot of research and I'm still petrified in fear. To the different layers of damage that will be concocted. We can't help the ones who have already been lost in translation. Try as we will. You can't reverse the course. There already a few times I've already said in my own broadcasts, Hawkeye becomes Hawkeye, and the process is irreversible. It's turning the keys, but to also recognize what we are. Can you excuse me a second? Right, so I noticed that's what you're playing, huh? If you've ever touched that game, at least in Japan. At least it matters when you still have an unusually hot look. It's normally a piece of cake. Isn't too complex. Yes, it just applies if it knows what's up. It does apply if they know what's up. I mentioned this previously through Discord. I'll explain it here directly here on YT and Twitch. Yes, Suika Game Planet already is out, in Japan only. 18th of December onward. Awaiting the international version, something I've been eager to want to run. Also, if I would have a choice, I could actually just run other games on the Switch console if I want. Facial recognition and future tech. There's much more of a feeling. It really isn't something that matters about location. Just try to feel like you're the hero. If you don't know where it comes. Clone systems? It may in fact be the truth. I've started noticing evidence in a few places. It's important though that I feel like there was a cloned project that's doing something that not to the other. Maybe better not to mention about it, but I know it exists. I can't live in a system of lies forever. I want to leave. I don't want to end my own life this early, because what I'm seeing is still the continuation. A brutal circle, only created in there by some of those elitists. What they care about is the money. They don't care about the standard. The corporatism. Have to stand very firm. Whatever it is, which the combatants are holding on to. We still shouldn't forget the amount of horrors that really was going on. Yeah. Guys up. Fair deduction. What's raising is a different terror. This doesn't mean it's the end of the darkness. There's still much more to come. It just takes a bit of skill. Finding another place you know you would rather be than here. But who's the Chinese player who's been still trying to keep in contact with me? There are questions which it's imperative I continue asking in my head. Who is he, she, or they? And it's a question that is still left with some more questions than anything else. Memories. know I'm a bit of a person that does unleash the F-bomb every once in a while. Can be usually humble, though. Things have been pretty doggone rough. 8 o'clock. Local time, Chinese time. Where was it 7 o'clock? I don't remember. There is New Zealand. Yeah. Enough. Do your own research. Can't just give up on being a musician as well. It's just too much other feelings. Just trying to think if I should just go back and create drum beats first and the bass line. Keeping things simple would be the way I feel it should. Reminds me too. At least on this resolution, it doesn't look like it's native 4K. I'll keep this rolling though. So what I like is my business, I keep saying that. It's been an easy sort of series of events. This decision making. Pathetic. I actually want to just briefly pause that. Constantly being more, laying and listening and sometimes watching. Well, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 4. That's something else too that needs to be put up. Excuse me. I was just saying. AP News, just saying it again. Unbelievably, we can throw away what everyone else knows. There's too much reflection, not enough thinking forward. There is no going forward without any concrete plans. the other important story. The very last day, Warren Buffett himself leads the Berkshire Hathaway Group. Still searching for that MH370? I'm still left why in the blazes they have to not leave that as top secret information. As it might have been, I don't know. Isn't January 1 over there? It's only December 31. But move on. Like I said, it's just for me, it's another normal day. Get back in the game. Like I was saying, for me, maybe this might be a point of being too obsessed. Just, yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2, as I said, in particular. Just, it's relevant for what came out in 01. If others don't remember the origins of some of these projects, what is state-of-the-art and what is not state-of-the-art. But beyond that, twisting the communities out of feeling that no matter where they go, they are not really safe. And in it, you see different revolution role? Further take names, players lose inspiration and feel railroaded with little to no real meaning to coming back to the world that they should have went back to. You don't give up, you fight. I'm leaving when this is done. It might be another hour away though, so that's a heads up. Or I could leave as soon as when I say I will. It's nuances. The point about the elements of other games maintains a fun factor. Some that are critical. Down here, it's the down here, it's actually the summer period. No matter the situation, I feel half alive. Look, I would have had the choice to maximize fidelity. To use YouTube. And then I do it without, simulcasting, but it's knowing if you're the hero, making your own history. But if they don't listen, they'll know right up. There's still oppressionists. There's too many haters in this world. Too many. Way too many. Way too many. Cyclical. When you see the same story roll, no matter the technological ages we've been pushed into. I'll give some last advice before I close this. Never succumb in using any form of these forms of AI by the big tech groups. And we're already seeing the cycle already being taking too many names in the internet. You can't keep fighting outside of situations that's beyond human control. come later. Lone wolf, 33 years of age, single. Don't know exactly when I'm gonna see the cage be completely rebuilt. Was this other fundamental? You know, straight up. The door's closing. I made my choice. That's it. That is all for now. First podcast of the year, yeah.
Stream is over. Cause it.